Hello, everyone, and welcome to Conversations in Horror, the podcast. I am your host, Kevin L. Powers. I'm also the owner and operator of Something Wicked Entertainment and Events, and welcome to our podcast today. So, if you've been with our show, you will know that what we do on our show is we take an individual film, horror film, it could be any one of the subgenres, horror comedy, horror space, horror sci-fi, horror fantasy, whatever. It has to be horror, have some type of element in horror in it. We take that single individual film, and then I and my special guest, we kind of dissect, analyze, and have a candid conversation about this movie. Now, this candid conversation is designed to hopefully give you a better idea of what the film was, what the film may have supposed to have been like, and whether or not you'll enjoy it if you actually watch the film. Sometimes there will be films that you have heard or watched or seen before, and sometimes there'll be films that you've never heard of, and that can be a good thing. But our show is designed to give you an insight on all the types of films out there, whether you've seen them once, haven't seen them at all, or want to check it out again on the second or third viewing. So with that, I would like to first introduce my guest for the show before we get to the title for today's episode, and that is Jim Adams. I would like to welcome Jim to the show again. Thank you so much, Jim.
Hey, glad to be back. And we're like, let's see, we're doing another. It must be a found footage film because Jim is here in the house with his found footage expertise, talking about a film that I had never seen before until you mentioned it to me. So first time out of the blocks on this one.
So everyone out there, we picked an odd and unusual film to highlight. And as Jim has mentioned, he is kind of my go-to guy for found footage films. And so the film that we are discussing today is a found footage film, and it is called Bigfoot: The Lost Coast Tapes from 2012. Now, to be honest with you, this was a film that neither me nor Jim had actually even watched or much less heard of before watching it. The reason being is, and we're going to explain this to everyone as the year goes on, one of our projects for next year is we are collating a lot of the different types of shows that we've done to create a companion book based on found footage films for you guys next year. It's a project, it's a year-long project that we are working on, and we are kind of going through a whole list of found footage films. Hopefully you guys out there will enjoy the book when it comes out, but we wanted to give you a kind of an early release of kind of the stuff that we will be having in this book by highlighting Bigfoot: The Lost.
I have a title for your book as well. It is the handbook of films that we have found that should have been lost. But anyway.
It's actually a really good title.
I like the title, yeah.
I like that title. Make sure I write that down later.
So there's a lot of found footage films I like.
So everyone listening, me and Jim, we have this great rapport where we talk about found footage films because we both love the genre and what the genre brings to the horror genre in and of itself. And so you'll get a kind of a kinder and gentler review of these found footage films. So
except with this movie. No, I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Well, let's get right into it then. This is a film that both of us saw for the first time for the show. So that is different from most of the other episodes that we've delved into for the show. Most of the time, one of us have seen the movie and actually enjoyed it, but for this one, neither one of us has seen this before actually talking about it. So go ahead, start us off with a little bit about what your thoughts and ideals were for this film, or just go into starting with the plot of the movie so people know what the heck we're talking about.
This movie has some problems. It's not horrible. I mean, I'm not saying that it was a bad movie, but it had some issues. And I watched it with another found footage film, so it's interesting because we were talking about another found footage film before the last one we talked about. But this one, I mean, it held my attention. It engaged me, but there are some issues with it, and it's one of those that it's sort of frustrating because they could have done a little better if they just tried a little harder. But I'm one of those people who's interested in the subject of Bigfoot. I watch Bigfoot documentaries. I've seen the Expedition Bigfoot and some of the reality shows. people going out hunting for Bigfoot and stuff. So I've always been fascinated with the story. So when you told me about this one, I thought, okay, I got to check this one out. I've actually acted in a Bigfoot movie. I was like the first victim in the one I was in. They killed me off real quick. But so I was curious to see how this one looked. There's some problems with the acting in this one. Unfortunately, that's it's not directed real well on that level. But some people might find it fun, you know. So I'm not going to say it's a horrible movie, but it's got some issues.
All right, so for you all who have never even heard of this movie, essentially what happens is there is a TV personality by the name of Sean Reynolds. And Sean Reynolds has just talked his TV station, or the people who would ultimately produce this project, to give him money to produce a 12-episode show based on a guy who claims to have found the body or a corpse.
He has a body.
He has a corpse.
But it's important to know that Sean he's sort of screwed up with his rate. He had a successful TV show about the paranormal, and it turned out he had this big ballyhoo show that ended up being a hoax.
And so
so now he's like on the outs, and he's trying to get back into the game again. And the station's sort of going out on a limb saying, okay, we'll give you some money to go do this one.
But his point is not to prove that Bigfoot exists.
No.
His point is to prove that this guy that he's interviewing and documenting is a hoax itself.
Right. This is like Revenge City for him.
He is going in thinking that everything that this guy is doing, and his name is Dryback. Dryback. He's a hoaxer, and he's putting all this together for a joke. So his sound guy, let's start off because the sound guy's the last person he gets. Him, his camera guy, Daryl Coleman, his producer, Robin, who also happens to be his girlfriend, and they eventually talk.
I think it's an ex-girlfriend, isn't it?
It's his current girlfriend.
Is it current? I can't remember. It seemed like that maybe
it seemed like it was their current girlfriend. I kept thinking that.
I'm not, and I may be wrong, folks. So yeah, I'm going to go with Kevin on this one.
And I do know that they've all produced projects before this.
Yeah, they're all part of the old team. Yeah. He gets the old gang together pretty much.
He tries to get the whole gang.
It doesn't quite.
But his sound guy, Curtis, is an African American, and the moment that he mentions that he's going to search for Bigfoot is the moment he says, "No, we black, and we don't go in the woods search for Bigfoot." That's just.
I love that guy. I wish we'd gotten to see him more in this movie.
He's
the best. He's the best character in this whole damn movie.
He's the character that says everything that used to be a cliche. The black dude is not going out there. You mentioned Bigfoot. Bigfoot kills everybody. Why would I go out there?
Homie, don't do this thing. Yeah.
But he's so natural. The actor who plays
he's very good.
The actor that plays him, Japheth Gordon, is so natural. It just seems natural. Everything he says is so.
Yeah, good. No, he's perfect. He's perfect.
So instead of him going out there, because he knows he ain't going to no woods.
Homie, don't go into no woods.
They get more or less like an intern by the name of Kevin, who doesn't have much experience on set to record stuff. He's always bungling.
Right.
And
tall, skinny Jewish kid. That's he's sort of a nerd type.
Yeah, he's kind of a nerd type. But
he knows about Bigfoot. I mean, he's into that sort of stuff.
He's the guy who believes in Bigfoot, who knows about Bigfoot lore and all that type of stuff. So it's kind of a great kind of concept they got in that regards. He talked into this before he even realizes that's what he's out there for, to record audio for a Bigfoot show.
Right.
So the ideal behind this is kind of interesting in that they're out there to debunk someone who claims that
they're going to prove this guy's full of crap.
Yeah, they're trying to they're trying to say he's full of crap. But this guy, Dryback, he kind of systematically kind of hides information from him. When the team gets out to his remote location, they have to be driven to the location by his vehicle.
Blindfolded.
They're only allowed to bring all the camera equipment, and then when they get out to the location, it's a remote location. No regular electricity or phones.
It's almost like a prison.
The entire place is surrounded by electrified fence.
Yep.
Of course, Drybeck is claiming that because of what he's done with the body, they are getting his words are not visitations,
attacks.
They're attacks, repeated attacks every night.
Yep. They're harassing him and all kinds of.
They're harassing him, but they haven't.
He comes off as like the ultimate conspiracy nut.
Yeah,
he really does.
He does. And the thing is, he does this thinking that he's trying to protect the film people. Like the film people are there to actually be truthful and film everything the way it is, the truth, and not try and find a hoax and everything. They paid Drybeck $70,000 for his story, so they're going to get their 12 episodes out of him. But the thing is, they're out there trying to prove that it's all a hoax, and Drybeck is trying to prove that it's all real by just stating the facts the way it is.
Well, they figure they got him because they don't believe he's got a body of a Sasquatch. No, and, I figure they're pushing the issue constantly from the beginning. It's like, we want to see it. We want to see it. And he's taking them on this. He's dragging it out, stretching it out. And even I was beginning to believe, I wonder if this guy really does have one or not. You're right. I like the character. I like the character of Drybeck.
Oh, Drybeck is like
he's an old actor named Frank Ashmore. Has a pretty good resume. He did a lot of day work on a lot of films and stuff. He's a little over the top, but I would have sort of expected that with this character.
Well, no, I expect that from the character.
He's definitely definitely a conspiracy type nut.
Yeah, but Kevin makes notice that he has this voice that kind of draws you in. And
absolutely.
And I like that aspect of the film. It's he has the voice that kind of draws you in and makes you believe every word that comes out of his mouth.
He's a good character. I'll give it. That's one of the stronger parts of this movie.
Yeah, Sean and Daryl, for the most part, are very much, no, this is a hoax. We need to get this on tape, blah, blah, blah. So they're filming everything. And they're also filming segments for the actual show as they're doing this.
Yes, right.
So you get to see some of that. It's very similar to what was used in the Blair Witch Project, when you see Heather Dunnew's character on screen talking about the Blair Witch and all that type of stuff herself. You see that with Sean. He's the host of this show, so there's lots of segments where we see him explaining stuff as though these are segments that will be in the future show.
I think Sean is my least liked character in this movie. He's just a little over the top. He's the worst thing you can be in a movie is to come across as an actor trying to be something you're not. And that's how I see Sean. And sorry, Drew Rausch is his name. You weren't very believable to me. Of course, maybe, I'd worked in television before. That's when I started way back in the 80s. He just did. He was almost a caricature of what we think of for some of these guys. And that threw me off a little bit with this film. I had a problem with it.
See, I didn't have a problem with him. I kind of had a problem with the Daryl character. I
could see that for people too. I was thinking the Daryl. He is definitely over the top too.
Well, Daryl seems like he should be more of a camera guy, but he's taken in by Sean's story, and I don't know if that's because that's the way the character is written, or if it's because the character is like that because every time Sean opens his mouth, he wants to give him more percentage points in the back end. He's greedy.
I don't know. There's a chemistry issue between these two.
Yeah.
There really is, and that's. But I just felt like some of Sean's reactions to things in this, and it's just too much. I think he should have been sneakier. I mean, he's almost wearing on his sleeves like, you're full of shit, and I'm going to show the world that you're full of shit, and all that stuff. And I just came off too strong.
You remind me of him. You wanting him to be like Morton Downey.
I don't want him to be that way. No, I think he should be more cagey. Let's go in here like, we believe this, and he's going to show us the body, and we're all going to make, but actually he's in there to prove that the guy, see that you're a hoax, you're a phony, and I am being redeemed here. That I can see a scam when it's there, because he can't get over the fact that his successful TV show went right down the toilet because somebody pulled one on him.
And so
that's what's motivating him. Okay, there's your motivation. I hate using that
expression. Yeah. No.
But I think Drew plays it just a little bit, and again, some of this can fall in the lap of the director Corey Grant. He may have directed him that way, and if that's the case, and I'd say, Corey, come on, dude, you should have made this a little more believable. Made that character a little more. It might not be Drew Ross. Drew Ross just got a pretty decent resume, so he's been around. The main people in this movie have all acted in quite a few things, but I just if he was directed to be that over the top, then maybe I've got an issue with Corey Grant, the director. But I don't know. That's the only thing, and sometimes you don't know in a movie if maybe a good actor's been said, no, you got to do more. You got to, you got to be more, more aggressive or something. I just thought there was some scenes where his emotions weren't appropriate, weren't real. It was almost too much of a put on, like a young actor trying to pretend to be something, And in acting, you don't pretend. It's just you've got to make it natural. Basically, you don't want people to think you're acting. That's what the good actors, you don't realize the guy's acting. So maybe that's it. I'm a little picky when it comes to stuff like that.
Well, that's kind of what you have to look at when you're looking at found footage movies.
Yeah.
Are there actors acting, or are they just being authentic?
I want it to be real. Yeah, I want it to be real. Yeah.
And of course, there's only so far you can go with when you're making a found footage movie about Bigfoot. So,
true.
Huh?
True. That's true.
So, moving on from the story, then they get there at this place, Drybeck's place, the cabins in the woods, more or less. And they literally are cabins. They are staying in cabins with no electricity.
Oh, it's important to notice that the truck that they came in, or the van that they came in, they had to leave it a couple of miles back. They had to walk in to this location where the cabin was. So their way of getting out, it's important to get out as well as getting in, is like a 2-mile hike through the woods to get back to their vehicle. Which plays an important role in this storyline.
It does, because essentially what happens on the first night is that the Bigfoot, or whatever it is, because Sean doesn't believe it's Bigfoot, they pound on the house, and the house is assaulted, and of course that all happens because for the first time Drybeck realizes that his Bigfoot has gotten past the electrified fence. For the very first time. Up until that moment, he's been protected by this electrified fence, and now that no longer protects them. And then the house is assaulted. They hear the noises and all that type of stuff. Of course, Sean and them don't believe it. Sean and Daryl want to go out there and film. Kevin's apprehensive the entire time, and Robin, producer, is communing with nature every few scenes.
Her character's a little over the top too.
I was fine with her performance. I think the idea of having a character that communes with nature, I don't think was developed enough for this film.
Yeah, well, maybe that was my problem. It was like I didn't have a problem with the type of character she was. It was just
It's something you're not
It was
expecting.
sort of awkward.
It was awkward.
Yeah. And then it got to one point. It was almost, I don't want to say ridiculous. It didn't quite reach that level, but it was getting there. It was sort of like, okay, lady, come on.
I think all
give it a rest.
Yeah, well, I think all the setup was just to get that sequence where she's
I think so.
The camera rig around her.
Right.
I think that was literally all that lead up was.
I agree.
Because it's a really cool sequence, but
yeah,
for every time she does that, it just seems odd. Like my producer's out there communing with nature. Okay, that's odd, but okay. And unfortunately,
but it was a bit much. Look, I used to love to go camping, and I still have a great affection for nature and all of that, but it was a little bit much with her character.
Well, it definitely is a bit much because Drybeck at one point kind of, she has a conversation with Drybeck away from Sean, but still on camera.
Yeah.
About the fact that she's questioning Drybeck on the fact that she didn't feel like she was being threatened after she was attacked with the camera rig. But that she had the feeling that it was trying to protect her, like to pull her away from harm. And of course, that's one of the better parts of this movie.
Yeah, that scene is very, very good because you don't know.
You don't know. Was she being
attacked by a Bigfoot, or was he protecting her from something else? And that happens about 3/4 of the way through this film, and it's sort of like it really. Now that turned my head a little bit. I was like, "Whoa, wait a minute, what's going on here?"
Well, it's an interesting concept, but I think by the time you get to the very end and you get the big reveal, you wonder why they did all that setup. It doesn't really make any sense. Because in theory, the whole film revolves around what people think the lore with Bigfoot is. Like, you know it. You have theories about it. And that's the thing I did like about the movie. Is all these theories, but you just don't know.
Right.
There's the whole ideal of the Bigfoot nest. And of course, the Bigfoot peeing on the house, marking its territory.
The marks, and the claw marks.
Claw marks everywhere. And of course, the footprints there are supposed to look like Bigfoot.
Yeah.
We will probably reveal some more spoiler stuff towards the end of the show. I'm trying not to get to it just yet, but
no, I don't want to go cut to the end yet. No.
But some of these aspects seem questionable when you think about the film as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like the fact that what happens is that the Kevin character, who as soon as they have, he gets a bad mojo, he wants to leave.
Kevin is great. I mean, he totally believes. A little geek guy that's into this stuff, and he feels totally threatened after the first time. And he is ready to go.
He's ready to go.
Okay, nope. I can't deal with this. I got to get out of here. And he's not even going to run away. I'm just going to go back to the van. And if I have to sit in there for a couple of days, I will. I'll wait for you guys until you're done doing your thing. I'm out of here.
One of the cool things about his sequence is because he's got the boom mic and recording audio, he hears things that the others don't or can't hear.
Right, because it picks up.
He actually at one point thinks that they are playing a joke, a prank on him, because he makes comment of he hears people talking, but he can't understand the language that they're talking. And that freaks him out. Those type of little tidbits I liked.
Right, I did too. This is something that was very good about the way this was written.
There was there was a little bit more effort put into the kind of like the underlying concept of the.
I'll give credit to the two writers, Brian Kelsey and Brian O'Kane.
This
is basically the only thing they've ever written.
But
there are some nice touches in this.
Yeah, there's some nice touches in this, and like I said, we haven't mentioned the character LaRoche, who is one of Drybeck's associates, who is a expert tracker. Working for Drybeck, and in theory, his job is to make he's watching them all as this all happened, and he helped Dryback with moving the so-called Bigfoot's body.
Yeah, and it's a juvenile. He says it's a juvenile Bigfoot, so it's not, because he said, "How did you move 9 feet?" Because most, the Bigfoot stories we've heard about, usually talk about a Bigfoot being 8 or 9 feet tall, but he says, no, he's a juvenile. We were able to. He was still big, but we were able to move him. So.
And the thing is that I think after the first day, and they go out and they get more footage, and they went. Dryback leaves them hanging, and they're kind of stuck there.
Yeah.
They had the option to leave at first, but they decided to keep filming. This is when they come across all the marks on the cabin.
Right.
The Bigfoot marking his territory. They go out to the lake area, stream. It's more of a stream.
It's a big streamer. Yeah.
Big stream where they find the Bigfoot marks, which is funny because they twice mentioned the Patterson Gimli footage, and they even here as like this looks like where they shot the Patterson Gimli footage.
And for those not familiar with it, that's one from what was it, early '60s. It's been around forever.
Yeah, it's the first. I think it's
showing the Bigfoot walking away in the woods there.
Yeah, so
not on an 8mm camera.
Yeah, yeah. And the original, the first time it's mentioned, of course, is Sean is claiming that is a hoax, the hoax here. But of course, Dryback makes comment about that same thing is like they didn't have the technology to make costumes like that back then.
Yeah, and again, that's no different than the conversations we hear on Bigfoot shows nowadays, where it's still nobody knows for sure if that footage is legit or not. It's incredible footage. I've seen it thousands of times.
Same here.
I don't know. I've seen shows that try to debunk it, but they still have trouble exactly doing it. That trying to debunk it, making it appear that it's a guy in a costume, or who knows? Nobody knows for sure.
Yeah. So, but they pull.
But they do make reference to that a few times.
They make it a few times in here. So it kind of puts you into the mindset that everything that you're watching is essentially about a Bigfoot monster.
Yeah.
And they don't hide this. The moment they say it's a juvenile Bigfoot is the moment you realize, oh wait, this is a parrot. They've got the body of a juvenile. The Bigfoot's pissed off because they got the body of the kid of the fucking Bigfoot. This is the reasoning behind all of this madness that's happening. And so that second day, while they're doing all this, and then after they go to the stream, they do realize that one of the Bigfoot feet tends to change to just being another footprint. And then, of course, they come across the Bigfoot nest that Robin claims is a nest because it smells like the same smell that was at where the Bigfoot marked the cabin.
And that's right out of some of these shows that I've seen, these documentaries where Expedition Bigfoot, finds nests now and then. It looked just like some of the stuff. So yeah, they try to keep that, some legitimacy to this.
Yeah, they're trying to make people. This is like this is a Bigfoot found footage movie. This is what they want everyone to believe. So all the traditional conversations and references are made here so that you get that idea.
Yes,
and that's that's what puts you in the world of you watching a found footage Bigfoot movie. Is all this talk about this. But of course, after Kevin leaves, which happens after the nest, because he's like, I'm done. This is a nest. You're fucking with shit you shouldn't be fucking with. I need to get out of here.
He's gone.
He is, but not without some concessions, because Sean talks him into wearing a camera rig and having him come back to pick them up so they can keep filming. So this is one of the reasons why they are able to keep filming, despite the fact that normal people would stop filming. Dryback's not there, and Kevin's now gone. So it's the three of them doing all this to still have to salvage the show. So, and they're not paying attention to any of the rules that Dryback told them to do. And
that's right.
Yeah, not at all.
This is where Sean's character gets a little screwy for me, because a little over the top as how maniacal he is. I've got to do this. I've got, I will, this is, nothing's worth anything but this show. We've got to get this show done.
Yeah.
I've got to redeem myself, and all that. And he's almost like Dr. Frankenstein or something.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like, it's like he's willing to put his friends at risk and all that just to prove a point. He's got to prove he's right on this one.
Yeah. Well, when Dryback does return, it surprises them because Dryback returns with a wounded LaRoche.
Yes. Yeah. LaRoche gets all banged up.
He gets banged up, but of course, Sean doesn't believe that Bigfoot did it. They bring LaRoche into the house, try and keep him calm and all that type of stuff, but none of them believe that Bigfoot did it.
No, they think that Dryback's staging it all for their benefit.
Yeah. So, this is the point when Dryback reveals that he was actually trying to leave, but all access roads out of that isolated area, he's unable to leave. We don't know exactly sure why he can't leave, but he can't leave.
Oh, we find out though.
But we do find out. So they take LaRoche inside, and of course, I'm trying to remember which came. I think this is after, what's her face is wounded after having the camera rig on her. I think
It's right around the same time. They're out there at night, trying to catch him, and we see it from the point of view of the camera.
Yeah, we see it from the point of view
where she is attacked, and the camera's flying all over the place,
and then Dryback
and something is carrying her off. Someone has actually lifted her up and carried on. We're going, it's got to be Bigfoot because he's supposed to be a really big thing. And she's got and when she gets back, and then lets her go, just drops her.
Yep.
Now, when they get to her, she's banged up, but they get her back to the cabin and she's all bruised up, like something had grabbed her around the waist and slung her over its shoulder. And that's when, I think it's a little later that she talks to Dryback.
Yeah, she talks to Dryback
I think
after that.
Something was trying to protect me.
Yeah.
I don't think it was trying to hurt me.
Yeah.
But it was big and furry, and for all intents and purposes, it must have been Bigfoot because not too many big furry things out there in the woods that we're aware of.
But then, of course, what happens is that Daryl and Sean take Dryback's gun and they drive off to try and find a way out of that.
Yeah, they're on foot. I mean, they just try to hike out.
They drive. They take his.
Oh, they take his truck.
They take his truck.
Yes, I'm sorry. I stand corrected. Yep.
They take his truck, but that's when they figure out they see the big freaking log that's an impossibility to move or get past. You would need a chainsaw.
Right.
And so they return back to the cabin. And then of course we have a few other scenes that are there, but we didn't go to the next day. And of course they haven't heard back from Kevin. And of course the ideal now is that Dryback, who still has gotten paid for this show, knows of an alternate route through the woods, through the Lost Coast Trail, that will take them by the Bigfoot.
Where it's hidden. Yep, where the body's hidden.
This I thought was really creative, though.
I like that. No, this is, again, like I said, it's not all bad stuff in this movie. There's some good stuff. You're right. It's a good sequence.
Because Dryback and LaRoche knew that what they were doing was possibly put them in danger.
Yeah.
They had hidden the body of this juvenile Bigfoot in a sea cave, which you can only access it at low tide.
At low tide, yeah, because otherwise the entrance is underwater.
The entrance is underwater.
Yeah.
I thought that was very creative.
I thought it was great. That was a great twist.
Yeah, I was not expecting that.
I wasn't either. I figured it was out buried in the woods somewhere. Or who knows? Who knows what?
And then they explore this cave where there's no light except for the light from the camera. So most of everything for the sequence in the sea cave is done by the light of the camera.
Nice and spooky.
Dryback takes them to where the Bigfoot, the encasement is, the body of the Bigfoot, but then they're attacked because the Bigfoot found a way into the sea cave.
I think it just followed him in. You know, it's not stupid.
They don't seem stupid, so no. So it becomes a little bit of a chaos when they're running around in this cave, and Daryl trips, and
right.
It becomes a whole other thing. And then, of course, they try and get out of there. Now, at the same time, Robin has been left at the cabin with LaRoche. Now,
yeah, they're by themselves at the cabin.
LaRoche is trying to recover.
Yeah, no, I mean he got really banged up. Yeah, I mean
he got banged up. He got banged up really bad. But you know, Robin starts hearing noises. She starts hearing shit. And then when she goes in to see LaRoche, this is a cool sequence because I wasn't expecting this. LaRoche, the whole room that he's in, he's standing up. The whole room is flooded with light.
Oh, it's a great shot. Yeah,
and
great scene.
Is ripped through the bedroom window into the light. And God only knows where.
Yeah.
Scares the shit out of Robin.
Good scene. Good scene.
It's a really good scene. It's really well done. And she starts running out and all this type of stuff. Eventually making her way to Drybeck's car.
Yes.
But unfortunately for her, that, you know, doing some other sequences, because she gets a gun and there's a whole bunch of other stuff that happens in between. But to get to the meat and potatoes of it, eventually she ends up back in the car and a huge light engulfs the car.
Yeah.
And she's hiding under the car, and she gets abducted from underneath the car by whatever's in the light.
Something got her. Yep.
Something got her, and then she from the camera perspective, because the camera falls, or she places it there. I can't remember. Sometimes she places it down, sometimes it falls.
I think she set it down so she could get in the truck.
Yeah, I think that this is one of those sequences where she sets it down.
Right.
And
she didn't care about the camera at that point. She just needed to want to get out of there.
Pretty much. She's using it for a light. So that's the only reason why.
Exactly. Right.
The cameras are being used because they're being used for light.
Right.
And then, of course, she gets abducted from underneath the car. And the next thing we know, she's lying in front of the car. And we see her on the camera. But we also see, I'm assuming it's another body. I think it's LaRoche's body.
It is. It's LaRoche's body.
And then, of course, we know she's dead. And, of course, LaRoche is already dead. And that's all we see of that sequence.
This is one of the strong suits of this movie, is what you don't see in a lot of these attacks.
Yes.
Because it makes it much scarier.
Yes.
It's much better.
And this is, you know, the LaRoche is the first sequence in which you see the bright light. And you're wondering, what the fuck is giving off?
What is this? Light? Yeah. That really threw me. The first time I saw
it kind of throws you for a moment. You don't know.
Yeah.
It kind of changes. You say, what the hell are we watching now?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, of course, next thing we see is, you know,
there is something. Well, there's something that he makes reference to, that Drybeck makes reference to.
Okay.
Right in the beginning of when they get to the cabin. This is way back. And it's like in some of these movies, nothing is a throwaway line, where he brings up something that is a relatively new thing in the Bigfoot lore within the last 20 years or so. But I've seen it on these Bigfoot programs or whatever, that this theory that the Bigfoots can travel between dimensions.
I've heard that.
That there's a spiritual element about them, where they can go from one, you know, and just disappear. That's why they can just disappear all of a sudden when people sort of get on their trail and think you got them, and they're all of a sudden they just vanish. And that plays a little bit into this. So when I saw the big light and stuff, I thought, okay, that's what they're doing here. This has got something to do with the dimensionality of this Bigfoot. And maybe he's one of the ones that can do this. So that got me thinking in a whole different direction on this story. It's not just a big furry thing that's walking around in the woods attacking people.
Mm-hmm. Well, the Bigfoot has purpose. Which is great, because I think Exists is the only other one that kind of plays with the same idea, the Bigfoot getting revenge on the person that killed a family.
Yeah.
I always liked that concept. even though it almost makes the Bigfoot a bad guy
Yeah.
out for vengeance. But when I'm trying to remember if Sean and Daryl get back to the cabin first. No, I think Drybeck gets with
Drybeck gets her first.
Now, Drybeck, before they even get to the cabin, Drybeck starts going crazy.
Oh, that's true. There's that little scene before. That's right.
He
That's
starts
right.
going crazy, shooting into the woods up in the air.
Yes.
They're watching him like, what the hell are you doing? What are you shooting at? And unfortunately for us, that is the last time we see Drybeck, because Drybeck gets whooshed up into the sky.
Yes.
All of a sudden, we see him impaled on one of the nearby trees.
That's right. He doesn't make it to the cabin. That's right. Yeah. They meet him first, and then they're back at the cabin. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. And then the other two men are hoofing it back to the cabin.
Yeah. Yeah.
They are hoofing it back to the cabin, but when they get back there, obviously they can't find Robin because Robin's gone. Robin is gone. There is no sense of foul play. There is no body or anything.
Robin's gone, and the other guy's gone, and so
they're looking around. And this is the part where I think it goes a little bit nuts because Daryl decides to go crazy. And I would think that character doesn't need to be going crazy because it just seems really out of character. Daryl goes crazy.
Yeah.
And, at one point, Daryl and Sean switch positions. So Sean ends up with the camera, Daryl ends up with the gun. And it's an odd scene because he's gone crazy, and then all of a sudden light comes. He steps out of the doorway of the cabin into the light for like 2-3 seconds, steps back in, and then kneels down and shoots himself in the head.
Yeah. Yeah.
Leaving Sean alone. I
don't know if it's so much out of sequence. That was one of the sequences I really liked about this movie.
It did not play well with me. Daryl being someone who
when it happened, it totally got me shaking my head, going, whoa. But what happens next?
Yeah,
ties it all together.
Now that Sean is alone in the cabin, he's got Daryl's blood on him. He's got the gun. He's got the camera. He starts losing it himself to the point that he sets the camera down to keep recording because he exclaims this is his last.
He's still going to do the show.
He's still going to do the show. But he opens the door and is engulfed by the light outside. And he says the line that changes everything that you're watching.
Yep.
I wrote it down so I would not forget the exact words. Blah, 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 blah. Where are these? It's not a Bigfoot.
It's not a Bigfoot.
And that throws the entire film up in the air.
Right.
It's not a Bigfoot. And then he's taken away. The camera falls to the ground due to the impact of whatever is outside that door.
That's right.
But the camera's still rolling. So at some point, the thing that's outside that's not a Bigfoot steps in and you see 1 foot. And it
just 1 foot. That's right.
You see 1 foot. It lifts up the camera and then the film is over.
That's it.
And so you're left thinking it's not a Bigfoot. It's approximately 9 feet tall. Whatever this thing is pissed off. And if you're thinking about the ideals about with the light and stuff like that, those are all hallmarks of an extraterrestrial film.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that there's nothing else you can think it is.
Unless you were one of those conspiracy theorists who thinks Bigfoots are extraterrestrials.
There is that theory, but who knows?
So that is I actually did not mind the way the film ended.
I liked that. I mean, that was so different than every Bigfoot movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, the only thing is if the filmmakers were trying to just give you a twist at the ending, or if they're trying to actually be authentic with what the creature is they've been showcasing. I think if it had been an extraterrestrial or something, that they should have been a lot more differentiated with like the Bigfoot nest, the claw marks, the footprints, and not indicating that it's.
Well, I mean, what they're trying, there is a Bigfoot. It tried to save, it tried to save Robin from being taken by those things, whatever they were.
So
that's how Robin got hurt.
So are you thinking
it was a big thing
different things
that scooped her? Yes, that scooped her up and it bruised her hip. That's the only thing that was wrong with her. And I kept thinking, okay, this is after I've seen the whole movie now. You know, I'm thinking back on that, you know, the bruise was right on the hip, right around the waist, you know, as she described, the thing just grabbed her around the waist and threw it over its shoulder and took off with her and then dropped her for no reason at all. But since I think it was trying to protect me. So there's a Bigfoot, and there's also this other crap that's going on, so that some of these attacks have nothing to do with Bigfoot. And then again, when we do have Bigfoot showing up at the cabin and making it through the electric fence and all that, maybe it was trying to warn them. I mean, now you've got to wonder if maybe you know because you know the legends of Bigfoot and stuff, it suggests that they're very intelligent.
Yeah,
and you know, so maybe it was trying to warn Drybeck that, hey, there's something else going on out here that's trying to get to you. That's got nothing to do with me. So that's the part of this that I really, really like. And when you see people get killed and attacked in this movie, they're always looking at something.
Yeah, they're looking up.
You think they're looking at Bigfoot, but they're not. They're looking at something else, another creature that's come into play here.
I never thought about
even the footage that Kevin shoots and Robin gets a hold of, you know, when she looks at the footage and sees Kevin getting killed on his body cam, the look on his face, you know, more I thought about it, was like, he wasn't looking at a Bigfoot. He was looking at something that just totally caught him totally off guard. It was like, yeah. I'm expecting to see Bigfoot, and I'm seeing something that is terrifying me even more. And then when I thought back on all of the other attacks, it was like, yeah, that's pretty much how they showed all of them. So they're trying to give you a clue that, you know, something else was going on here, which that I like. This is okay, Corey. I know I got on you a little bit about directing the people a little over the top. I still think you did, but this element of the movie I really like. Of course, this is more towards the writers. Now, this is a pretty clever concept they came up with. Unlike I've seen a lot of Bigfoot movies, and they're all sort of yawners, but this one really got my attention with and it made me go back and look at. I didn't go back and rewatch the movie, but think back. I've been wanting to sort of check it out again. Mm-hmm. To see if I think the clues are all there all along, that there was something else out there other than the Bigfoot that was, you know, a problem here. My problem is that I think Sean is playing a character that would not have acted like they had him acting in this movie. He gets angry too quickly, and he's one of the he was playing it where, like, when you get angry you get loud. Yeah, and all that, and I just don't see his character doing that. Some of his reactions to things, that he and Daryl are having conversations, and all of a sudden he's you know, and it's like, no, this guy's on a mission. He is on a mission to redeem himself. I think he would be a lot more composed and focused on making sure that he gets that story that he wants. You know, and he wouldn't lose control like that in situations where he did. And when I see stuff like that, it's like, okay, he must be a young actor. Yeah. You know, he doesn't have that much experience. I mean, he's got a decent resume, but he still doesn't have a lot of experience. But you know, we've worked with inexperienced actors before, And they tend to, when they see, oh, I'm supposed to get angry. Okay, I'm going to get loud. It's like, no, you don't have to get loud. You know, the subdued anger is much more effective. And I really I see Sean more as that, but he may have been directed to go. Oh, I mean, I've been in a couple of movies where the director told me to do that, and I thought it was absolutely the wrong thing to do. But I had to do it because the director wanted it.
Yeah.
But so it probably made me look like a crappy actor. I don't know. But and that was the only issue with the acting that I had with this a little bit. There were some responses and things to situations where I thought a couple of them didn't react right, didn't feel right, didn't feel right. Felt like it was acting.
Yes.
It didn't feel real. But there's a lot of good strokes about this movie too. I mean, there's, like I said, you know, as I've said many times, you give me something that's sort of clever and different, you got my attention.
Yeah, yeah.
This one did do that. It did that for me. It wasn't your typical Bigfoot movie.
No, I agree with you on that one. I actually really enjoyed a lot of the things in this movie.
Yeah.
Because I was expecting it to be something closer to, say, Willow Creek, which is a decent movie. I don't think there's a whole lot.
Yeah, that's an interesting movie.
You know, we don't see the Bigfoot nearly as much as we don't see the Bigfoot in this either. It's all implied, but this one just seems a little bit more dynamic with the access to multiple different types of locations, and it takes you away from just being at the one location. You know, you go to the stream, you go to the sea cave, you're going to all these other places.
Right.
It's this one seems a lot more open than some of the other found footage Bigfoot films I've seen. Yeah,
I agree.
I'm trying to think of anything else that I want to make sure I was saying about this movie, because the thing is, with this found footage movie, and this is trying to be like a television show in addition to a found footage film.
That's right. Yeah, you're almost like watching what his show is going to be.
Yeah, what the show is going to be like, because they're filming everything. And you have something that we kind of skipped over, which is the camera footage that comes from Kevin's camera after he was. No,
I mentioned just a second ago when we see Kevin get killed.
But you know, we didn't mention like when that happens or something. But at one point in the film, Robin is told by LaRoche about the footage being in the back.
She has the footage. Yeah,
and so she goes and grabs the camera, and not knowing why it's in the back of the car.
Right.
She gets it, and she goes to check out the footage with the equipment that they have, and we discover exactly what happened to Kevin, who gets to the point in the road where the big, huge tree is falling.
Right, where he can't get through, like they discovered later on. Yeah.
But he gets attacked almost immediately. Like the
he turns around and he looks straight up, and boy, there it is.
Oh.
We don't see it, but he sees it.
Nah, we don't see it. But it's a nice touch. But it also makes the question: how did Drybeck and LaRoche get the camera? But you have to assume that at some point he was killed before Drybeck and LaRoche got to that part.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I mean, I'm under the impression that he didn't get very far before he got killed. Yeah. I mean, no, they didn't really ever tell us. We're never really sure where that tree barrier was put. No. The two guys found it the next day, trying to get to the van to find Kevin. But I got the impression that he didn't get very far away from the cabin before it got him. And then LaRoche and Drybeck found him, and they took the camera.
Yep. You know, so that's sort of how I see pretty much this film. I don't know,
but there's other things. They set up Sean set up a game camera at one spot where the Bigfoot was supposed to be, and that
but
that just disappeared.
Yeah, that story element doesn't. Yeah, like they set up these game cameras
because it really didn't have to do with Bigfoot. It was this alien thing all along.
It's so which kind of also, other than that, they've been waiting this long to see a freaking Bigfoot in a cage.
Yeah,
in a cave, and they don't ever show what they actually found in that little case. That's supposed to be
was there a body in there? Not. I still tend to think there was.
Yeah, well, I know. Yeah, I believe there was too. I just kind of question why that Bigfoot didn't immediately go straight to that and try and take the body out or whatever he was trying to do. But who knows? Because
I think the Bigfoot was trying to warn those guys.
You think if that was
I'm beginning to wonder now, that he was trying to warn them off that it's not him that's chasing them. It was this other thing that's been after him.
Interesting theory. I never thought.
Yeah, I think that So it's one of those movies that you could have both sides, in a debate, and you couldn't say either one was wrong. But you can't really say which one's right either.
Yeah,
and I think that's what the filmmaker wanted.
That ambiguity works in this film's favor,
yeah,
especially considering how many other Bigfoot movies have been come and gone.
That's right.
And we've mentioned several of them already.
Oh, God, yeah. My favorite, just speaking of Bigfoot movies, my favorite is one that came out in 2006 called Abominable. And it is one of my all-time favorite Bigfoot movies with Matt McCoy, who was their big star in that. And I loved that film.
Okay.
And that has got a hook at the end that just absolutely nails you in the gut. I'm not going to say what it is, because if you've not seen Abominable, folks, it's very easy to find. Check it out. It is a very good movie, and it's it's the one Bigfoot movie I will recommend highly to anybody.
Is that the one?
Even if you don't like Bigfoot movies, you'll like this movie. Do what now?
Is that the one with Lance Henriksen in it?
I can't remember if Lance was in that one or not. I think he may have been.
I keep thinking
it had a great cast. So let me look it up real quick.
I keep thinking he was in one of these Bigfoot movies, but I'm not 100% sure. So.
No, but Dee Wallace was in it. There's a lot of Matt McCoy was the big guy. Hang on, I'm pulling up my notes right now, because I just happened to think of mentioning that one during this for something you said. Well, yes, Lance Henriksen is in this one.
Okay, so that's the one. I still haven't seen it yet. It's on my list because he's in it, and I've seen the trailer.
I'm not going to say anything else about it because it's just except that Matt McCoy is a writer who's wanting to get away from it all and gets his cabin out in the middle of nowhere to write something, and it has something to do with the Bigfoot legend, and I'll leave it at that.
Okay,
it's a terrific film. Terrific film.
All right. So, any other thoughts about this Bigfoot, the Lost Coast tapes?
Yeah, like I said, as found footage films go, I did have some problems with the acting of some of the characters, or it may have been the direction, or how they were directed, or whatever. I'm going to give them that one, but for the cleverness of this film and some of the nice little touches they had in there. I was very intrigued with what this film did. So it's like, not bad, guys, not bad.
Okay. No, okay. I will say that this isn't the only found footage Bigfoot movie out there, and there are tons more of them out there.
Oh, yes. No.
So if you're looking for a Bigfoot film, you have a lot to choose from. Our conversation today may have not whittled that list down any. Hopefully it has.
This one's worth a look. It's definitely worth a look. And,
Yeah, most definitely. All right. So when we get to this part of the show, what we like to do is we like to rate the movies from 1 to 5 stars, depending on what our tastes are like. 1 star is absolutely horrible. 5 stars is absolutely brilliant. Where on the spectrum, Jim, do you put this film, Bigfoot, The Lost Coast Tapes?
I'm going to give it about a 3.
Okay. I'm going to give it the same thing I gave our other found footage film, which is a 3 as well. I like the concept of this a lot, and I think it's well done. Now,
I do too, and a lot of the strokes from it from the concept alone.
I do agree with you. Some of the acting was a little bit far-fetched, especially for me, especially in the last third. I think it goes a little bit crazy.
Yes.
I think that it loses some of its allure when it tries to be really fast with its resolution with the end.
I think the actors should have paid attention to the guy who played Kevin, because he played it beautifully. He played it beautifully. I mean, when he freaked out, he didn't go over the top. He wasn't loud. It was all inside. It was all internal. it was all terrified. I high marks to the actor there who played Kevin, because
Okay.
I thought he played that beautifully.
Okay. Okay. Well, Jim, I would like to thank you for joining us on Conversation in Horror to discuss Bigfoot, the Lost Coast tapes. And everyone out there, you probably need to put that whole title in there to find the right one, since there are so many Bigfoot movies out there. That is Bigfoot, the Lost Coast tapes.
And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there is a sequel to this.
I have no idea. We barely found this one, much less a sequel.
I think there is possibly one. It's either called Beyond the Lost Coast Tapes or The Lost Coast Tapes Part 2 or something. But if I'm not mistaken, I will stand corrected if that's not true. But I believe that I discovered a mention of a sequel. I don't know if it's available, but that's why I'm being a little hesitant here. But I think they either wanted to make one or did make one, but I don't know for sure. This came out in 2012, so there's no telling.
Oh, Jesus. So I want to thank you all for joining us on this Conversation of Horror, in which you allowed me and Jim to talk about the Bigfoot movie. We hope that you check out a lot of our other episodes in the past. We have plenty of backup episodes that we've done a lot of great movies on, especially if you are a found footage fanatic such as us.
Oh yeah,
we have done a ton of them now. With that, I would like to thank you all for joining us on Conversations in Horror. Regular episodes are every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Our special themed episodes are usually released every Monday at 8 a.m. Also, don't forget to check out our sisterhood podcast, Conversations in 4Color, which is about manga, comic books, and graphic novels. That is our Patreon exclusive podcast. So you have to be a subscriber to or follower to get that one. From all of us here at Something with the Entertainment, we hope you had a pleasant experience with us as we talked about this movie. And everyone, have a great day. Conversations in Horror is a Broken Lighthouse Pictures production, written, produced, and directed by Kevin L. Powers, executive producer Kelly A. Inoka. All contents and material from this episode of Conversations in Horror is copyright 2025 Broken Lighthouse Pictures.